I
now.
think I've listened to that theme song 3 times.
All right, here we go. Three, two, one.
Just drop that ass, bitch. It's open micers in the house. Pop that pussy with that open micers logo in your mouth. Jason with his bald ass head. Jacob looking in bed. It's open micers, bitch. Heard what I said. Drop that ass. Open micers in the house. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. Open micers in the house. Open micers is a mouse. Drop that ass, pop that pussy. Open micers in the house. The mic is now open.
That's right. The mic is now open. My name is Jason Robbins.
I'm Jacob Craig, and I unfortunately listened to that song 3 times tonight, and I don't like it.
It's all right though.
It's not, dude. It's
It's a
not. So this is the second episode that we're recording tonight.
it's a Christmas
We
miracle, is what's
it
happening.
Yes, it's a Christmas miracle. We just wrapped our episode with Brandy Posey from a couple of weeks ago, and now we're recording this episode to go out on Christmas. Because no, we're not recording on Christmas, but we're also not going to rob you of your beautiful open micers content that you are so owed as listeners for this podcast.
And our vlog should be out. By the time this drops, the vlog will have been out for our Pensacola show, which we're editing right now. And if you haven't seen it yet, go watch it if you're a patron.
It's very fun, very good, very fun times.
Good stuff.
Mine and Jason's full sets are in there, so you essentially get free comedy, even though you didn't have to be there to watch it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I hated watching the video back because like I knew the kind of laughs I got on stage, and then listening to the video back, like it didn't pick up as many laughs as there were in the room.
Well, it
So
depends
it's
on where you are because when you recorded my set, you got it from the side of the stage and you couldn't really hear what I was saying that much, but you
yeah,
could hear the crowd better. I got right in front of the stage so I could hear you really well, but we couldn't hear the crowd very well.
yeah, which sucks, dude, because the crowd was fucking on fire for both of our sets, really. Like but it sounds like I'm doing mediocre on stage when like if you were in the room, everyone was like, "Holy shit, dude, really?"
Yeah, it was a great that was a great room. Like everybody was there
Yeah,
to see comedy. They were primed, they were ready. And I don't know, it was just I felt electricity in the room while I was
yeah,
on stage, even though I was really nervous before that show. Like I was scared to death before I stepped on that stage. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah. I could tell for sure when I was doing your little pre-interview for it. I was like, "Oh, he's so scared, dude. I could see it in your eyes." I was like, "He's scared shitless right now." And I was like, "You think you got it?" And you're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay, buddy." And then, dude, but I don't blame you because like before your set, so Andrew Ferrara was on stage. He was a killer, by the way, like one of the best comedians in the entire Gulf South. And he was up there and he was struggling with the crowd a little bit. And I
Yeah.
was like, what's happening here? Because he has really good material. He's really funny. I don't like, is this a dud crowd? And then I came to the realization that, oh, he hosts every single show here.
Yeah.
So they've all probably already seen him once before. And then Jason gets on stage, someone that they've never seen before, and he lights it on freaking fire. Like Jason does a 5 minute guest spot that was like just set the tone for the whole night. Like it was truly incredible to watch someone so bad at comedy do so well on that one night.
Well, even what's a saying I could put right there? Like even a blind horse finds water or something like that occasionally.
Yep. Even a blind horse fucks if it finds a hole big enough.
Yeah. I don't know. I hadn't done comedy for a while before,
Yeah.
except for the one open mic I did just to kind of knock the dust off. Like 2 weeks before that show, I went up to the open mic and at the Juke Joint in Ocean Springs and did really well with that set that I was going to do. So I was like, you know what? I could either come back the next week and do it again and risk bombing, which I probably was. in my mind, I was like, I need to get the bomb out of the way in case, so I don't bomb at the actual show. But I was like, if I do bomb, it's going to kill my confidence going into the show. So I didn't do that second week. And before that, I hadn't been on stage in months.
Yeah.
So when you told me I was doing that show with Mo, it was kind of like, all right, well, what's 5 minutes of stuff that I know works? So that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah, you would have definitely bombed too if you had done another mic before then.
Yeah,
Like,
probably.
because that was the mic that I did before we went to Pensacola. Was I just went to the Juke and was planned on doing just 5 minutes of kind of new stuff to knock the dust off, and there were literally two crowd members, and one of them was just a heckler from hell, who like the host asked her what her job was, and she was like, "We're in the military." And he
Oh.
said, "What do you do in the military?" And she said, "I'm his wife." So her job is military spouse, and
What's
she's
this
just
weed
heckling
shit?
everybody. Yeah, exactly, dude. I told you about this already. I got on stage, I just started yelling until she left. And then I did comedy to the one other crowd member for like 15 minutes.
See, you
And
should
I
have
was
been
just
there.
throwing out premises.
You should have been there the week before because it was a packed house. Everybody was there. A couple of the Mobile comedians that we know were there and brought a bunch of people with them. And it was just a lot of comedians that were there that night. And it was just, I don't know, it was just one of those nights that just everything went perfectly. And I was just, I don't know, I didn't want to tempt fate by bombing and then losing confidence. So I was just like, everything went perfectly. So I'm just going to go into the Mo show, riding that high of doing my set really well.
Yeah, see, and that's my thing is like I knew that I had to get on an actual show to practice before then, because like going to mics anymore, especially the ones down here, is so demeaning
Yeah.
to our abilities. Because like we've seen like the Heath Cordes kid get on Kill Tony and fucking crush it and get a golden ticket, and now he's performing in an arena.
Mm-hmm.
When like down here on the Huntsville scene, he was like middling, like not even middling. He wasn't even featuring. Like Delicia Nicholas, who we did a show with, was like headlining shows that he was on. So it's like we have fantastic comedic talent down here. And then you go to an open mic and you just die for longer than your 5 minutes because there's no comics. So you just die for like 15 minutes. You're just doing anything to try to get a laugh. So I was like, I knew that like I was gonna do one mic, sure, because I wanted to get as much stage time as possible, but like I needed to like practice on an actual show where there's actual people to paying to see comedy because they actually want to laugh.
It's just hard to get that here. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about the shows around here, but there are certain people that make the shows hard to want to be at.
So I have the perfect way to put this. I personally, I'm done trying to work with producers at all. So every comedy producer in the Gulf South, every single one of them has seen me do comedy. They know me. They know how good I am at comedy. They know my skill set, and they choose to not book me.
Yeah.
Which is fine. And I consider most of them my personal friends. They know where I'm at if they want me on a show, if they want, what they know I can do. And a lot of them have done that. That's why Andrew hit me up to open for Mo. That's why I'm doing the shows in Mobile sometimes. But I'm done reaching out to producers and begging for shows when the way to actually get something booked is to just ask the headliners.
Yeah.
And to just make friends with the other comics and ask if you can do their shows.
Well, that's what's good about doing this show, because we're getting to know these national touring comedians, so we can be like, hey, when you swing through here, can we hop on the show and open for you?
Yeah. See, and I'm only doing big shows anymore, dude. Like maybe I'm getting too big of an ego, but it's like I'm done doing one-off showcases for $50. Like I'm only doing shows that I feel like matter. You know what I mean? Like the last few shows I've done were Don't Tell, opening for Mo, opening for Mo again, guest spotting on Ben Bailey. Like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm not gonna host a birthday party for $15. Like sure I can be a working comic, like a quote unquote working comic doing that, trying to scrape $10, but it's like I would just rather do big shows and feel good about myself.
Yeah, same here. I don't know. I just kind of feel like doing the open mics around here is what kind of put me in the backslide for a long time, because I just, no matter how well I was doing, I felt like I wasn't gaining a foothold anywhere.
Yeah.
Because even out of town, like I went over to Pensacola and just destroyed at this one show that I was put on over there. And the producer was like, "Man, you did awesome. Want to have you back anytime." Okay. Email him like a week later, a couple days later, tell him, again, thank you for putting me on the show. You got anything else for me? And then nothing. I haven't heard from him in years. I'm just like, I'm not playing this game. I'm not doing this.
Yeah. I mean, dude, a producer I've been working with since we started getting paid to do comedy booked me for a show, said he was going to Venmo me some money, never answered my text. And then the last time I saw him, he actually was like, we're best friends. So it's like, all right, I'm done dealing with that when all of the spots we're getting recently are thanks to this show. Like I got a spot on Ben Bailey because Neil was featuring. So I asked Neil, hey, do you think I can get a spot? And he said, if the producer puts you on it, then you can do a spot. So I messaged Zeke. I was like, hey, can I do a spot? And he was like, show up and we'll see what you can do. And so I got to open for Ben Bailey just by showing up, just by asking Neil, just by, just by knowing somebody. Like, and, it's kind of the same thing with Mo. Like, I'm Mo's Mississippi opener. He's already told me that, like, anytime he comes to Mississippi, I can open for him. So anytime I'm opening for him in Mississippi, it's because of him. It's not because of the producer that booked the show. Like, he's the headliner. It's his show. They're the ones calling the shots. So I'm just going to try to be friendly and stay good at comedy and not have to like sell my soul for a $50 spot on a crappy show.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. We've had too many good comedians, touring comedians on this show. Let's just start using this show as our springboard, because I'm tired of trying to reach out to producers and stuff like that. I don't want to play that game. I want to just get out there and do comedy. That's what I want to do. I don't want to feel like I'm not good enough for your little scene. I just don't. I don't know. It's just I'm too old for this shit.
Okay, Danny Glover.
Lethal
Weapon's a fantastic Christmas movie.
And he was like 5 years younger than I am right now when he was saying he was too old for this shit. So I'm definitely too old for this shit.
You're really done with it. What was I going to say? Oh, my thing is like, I think the good karma comes around too. Cause like we've been doing this so long, like promoting other people. That, like, I think a lot of people are starting to see that, like, we're just kind of promoting other comics. So, they don't hate the idea of having us coming and doing a show with them. Because like we had Josh Watts on, and I asked him if I could do a guest spot on one of his casino shows in Biloxi. He was like, sure, come through. I'd love to have you in New Orleans.
Both of us are going to be on that show because I talked to him not too long ago about that.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Nice. He said his exact words to me were, I don't know who to talk to stop that from happening. So I guess we can just do whatever. Like, I don't think anyone's going to stop you.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens, I guess. But yeah, I just feel like that's the only way to book any shows down here, because everything's a one-off. So it's like, if you happen to know the one-off headliner, the producer doesn't really have much say in blocking you from it.
Well, the thing too is with this show, and I'm not saying we're the best podcast on the planet, but I would say we're a pretty good comedy-based podcast. I mean, not all of our shows are, laugh a minute, like, shit, like a morning show or something, but we are talking to and interviewing and talking to nationally touring comedians, getting the inside scoop on comedy. And that's what we do here. And I don't know. This is going to be part of my rant for this month on the OpenMicers.com, the rant episode. But we don't get any respect, like in the immediate local area from anyone.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we were just talking about the other day that like as many people as we've like put on our platform to talk about locally because they've had something to promote, or even if they're not a comedian, if they're like a musician, if they're a director, whatever, like anyone that's ever hit us up to come on the show has come on the show.
Yeah.
And I've gone out of my way to like help people promote stuff. And then when it's our time, you're like, hey, we kind of want to get like bigger numbers on our show. Do you think we could like come on your show for once? It's like radio silence.
Yeah. And that's what sucks, man. Is like you give. I feel like I constantly am pushing and promoting other people to do their stuff, and I'm always a supportive person, supportive friend, supportive, of other podcasts, and try to spread the word of podcasts. But when it comes to my podcast, it's like just crickets. And it bugs me sometimes, man. It really does.
Are you trying to do a cricket noise? Is that why it was silent?
Yeah, it was like.
Just insert a cricket noise in post.
Yeah, I'll have to find a cricket noise.
That's what we can do. I mean, this is pretty much your open rant for that, though. Like, what are you gonna do even after that? Just name names on the Patreon since no one's gonna see it.
I was going to, but I'm not, because I was fired up about it when we talked about it not too long ago, because it really does hurt my feelings that we just don't, even with, I feel like as much shit as I've done around here to, with I made a freaking movie with Jeremy London and Brian O'Halloran, like two of my heroes and stuff, like I do all this cool shit. I was in a signed band, and even then, like when we were getting signed, it was like hitting a wall with people around here trying to people actively against us at that time because they didn't want us to succeed. And I feel like, is it me? It's all, I always feel like no matter what I do, there's this I feel like there's this resistance of people from this area where they just don't want to give me any respect or like be like try to help or do anything.
Yeah, so I am the leader of that resistance, and I can say 100% that you are dragging this podcast down. So you should probably figure it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll figure it out.
But no, I mean, I think that's the way to do everything, man. Because it's like, we've shown people that like we're just cool guys trying to promote comedy in this area and trying to talk to cool headliners. Like, I mean, I feel like stuff this next year is going to start coming back to us. And I mean, we've already seen it. Like, Neil's hit me up being like, hey, I'm coming back to the area. Do you want a feature for me? Like,
and that was one of the coolest things ever, was getting to hang out with Neil in person. Like he swung through here, and me and Jacob, along with some other comedians in the area from Mobile and stuff, just went and hung out with him and just did sort of a hangout with him. And we, we threw some joke ideas around the table, and, Neil threw some, helped me craft some jokes. I mean, it was just,
you needed it.
Yeah, it was a really cool thing to do, especially of him. He didn't have to do that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he drove out of his way an extra 20 minutes to come hang out with us. But, that's what that guy lives for, because he's just, he's doing the same thing we're doing, where he's like, I want to help other comics. Like, that's literally it.
Yeah.
But, dude, this is going to be our last episode of the year.
I know. What a year it was.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it was probably the best year in this podcast history, wasn't it?
100%. This whole, like, the level of guests that we've had for this year is insane. Like, I can't even believe I can't even believe the people you got to be on this show. Like it's all due to you because you're just, man, I don't know if you're just bugging these people to the point that they're just like, fine, I'll come on. Just stop emailing me.
Yeah, you're welcome, buddy. I'm just really smart and good at things, including comedy and podcasting. And they see that. They recognize game. So I'm on Sam Talent's
Or
level,
they
objectively.
or they think this is a Make-A-Wish thing.
They might think it's a Make-A-Wish. They think you're a Make-A-Wish kid.
No, they think you're the
You're
Make-A-Wish
seconds
kid.
away from dying. No, I mean, I'm constantly emailing people. That's all it is. And it's not a secret either. Like any podcasters that are like Gulf South comedy podcasters that have asked me like how I get these people on, which is just the first five guys so far. Like I've shared everything I know and do with them. Like it's really as simple as sending 5 emails a day to potential comedians you might have on that are like within your grasp. Like, so don't try to email Joe Rogan, email freaking, whoever else. Like, email someone with less than 50K Instagram followers.
Well, if you look at how we've done over this last year and just the steady, like, uphill rise we've had as far as quality of the guests and everything, what do you think the next year is going to be like? Do you think we'll eventually land somebody like Bill Burr or something like that at some point?
Yeah, so I think the quality is going to go down severely. I think we're going to really plummet this next year, Jason.
Yeah.
I think we're probably going to be destitute and probably going to have to end the podcast.
I mean, we're already, with this episode here, we're already plummeting.
Yeah, it's so bad so far, isn't it?
It's
No one's going to
awful.
listen to this. This is our Christmas
But it's
present
okay.
to everyone.
It's
Unlistenable
cathartic.
episode.
It's cathartic for me to get some shit off my chest.
I guess so. The episode's almost over too, by the way. Like we're almost done with it.
So do you think anybody's going to be at my funeral or?
Yeah, I think more people are going to be at your funeral than you realize, buddy. Unless there's like another event happening that day, like a happier one.
Like, what if it's like cruising, not cruising the coast, but scraping the coast and like.
Well, no one will be there for just because of the traffic. But like, if you die on Mardi Gras, you're screwed. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because I was thinking, what if Lil Boosie was in town and then everybody's at the Little Boosie concert, nobody's at my funeral.
And everyone's at the Waffle House trying to get their potatoes cooked instead of being at Jason's funeral. I'm going to be the only one there just holding my potato, waiting to go after the funeral to get my potato cooked at the Waffle House.
Thank you for waiting till after the funeral to go get your potato cooked at Waffle House.
You're welcome. I'm going to weekend at Bernie's you with cooking potatoes.
Actually, I plan on being cremated, so just throw the potato in the crematorium when I'm getting burned.
Or I can just dip it in your ashes like it's like coating it.
Oh yeah, let's do that. After I get cremated, take my ashes and mix them like with some mashed potatoes, and everybody just like have a big mashed potato party and eat me and their mashed potatoes. That way I can be with all of you. Just a little part of me is in all of you.
I didn't shit my pants before, man.
Dude,
Jason is
I am my ghost.
potatoes.
My ghost and my ashes are gonna make you shit for like a month straight.
You're gonna tase me from the inside.
You're just gonna constantly you're gonna have to be hospitalized because you're just constantly shitting.
Nice, dude. I'm already almost there. But no, man. I hope that the level of guests keeps increasing. I hope a lot more people see that like what we're doing is we're just trying to promote local comedy in the Gulf South and just trying to put eyes on national headliners too that we're fans of. So yeah, man, I hope a big fish or somebody looks at us and thinks it would be cool to come on.
Yeah, because I mean we're steadily seeing not like huge growth in numbers, but we're steadily rising in numbers across all the platforms. But if you're a fan of the show, please share it with people that you think might like it if you haven't already, because that's the best way for podcasts to grow is through word of mouth. And being a comedy podcast in a sea of comedy podcasts, it's like, man, we picked like the worst hill to climb as far as podcasts go, unless we could either do this or true crime. Like, which ones has more podcasts in that genre?
I feel like a worse hill to climb for me would be a literal hill because I wouldn't be able to make it up there. I have neuropathy.
Yeah,
Jason, we should wrap it up.
yeah.
What do you want the last thing that you say on the last episode of 2023 to be?
Well, we still got 5 minutes to burn. I mean, we're only at 25 minutes, so
Yeah, but I mean with ads and music and all that, yeah.
yeah,
And
that's true.
it's Christmas. The listeners can give us the gift of 5 minutes, Jason.
Yeah, they could. I mean, we got 5 minutes left. I could do my act, and
I would rather not. I would rather burn all this to the ground right now.
So what was the question? I already forgot.
What do you want the last thing that you say on the last episode of 2023 to be?
Oh, thank you all for hanging out with us, and especially all the producers, the patrons that are in the producers chat, because our production text chain that we have makes me laugh all the time. The shit that goes on in there, and I think your daughter agrees with me. And
Yeah, she just went blah, 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 randomly for no reason.
but I enjoy that production chat because there's some weird shit that goes on in there.
Hell yeah, dude. We say the N word in there constantly.
Yeah.
The FBI is going to subpoena our texts.
Well, we'll see. And then we'll get canceled, and then we'll never have a million plus download podcast.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll just lose a Spotify deal over it.
Yeah. Like
Are you going to
somebody-
ask me what I want my thing to
No,
be?
because I don't care.
All right. Well, let's leave.
All right, Jacob. What do you want your last thing to be to say before the end of the year?
Rotisserie chicken, more like rotisserie chunkin'. Am I right?
That wasn't funny. Come
Because
on,
I'm catching them.
better. Do better.
I can't. I'm sorry. That's all I've got.
What are you gonna do for Christmas dinner? What do y'all got planned?
Rotisserie chunkins.
Rotisserie. You know what? That's a T-shirt idea. Rotisserie chunkins. I like it.
Yeah, dude. Let's make it. What are we doing here? Why are we even doing this podcast? Go make the T-shirt, Jason.
Are you guys eating turkey or ham for Christmas?
Ham.
Ham.
Ham is a Christmas dinner thing. Turkey's Thanksgiving, I think, and New Year's is also ham, which really sucks that they're both ham.
Yeah.
So close together.
I think I'm gonna get a bunch of Spam and then mold a turkey out of it.
Oh my god! I think I'm gonna bring some Boosie breakfast potatoes this year.
Oh, that's what we could. That should be our next Patreon dinner that we do with the patrons. We could do a Spam molded turkey and some Boosie potatoes.
Or we could make a video where we drive to all the local Waffle Houses with potatoes and see which one cooks it first.
I mean, I'm around here, probably the first one you go to. They'll be like, sure, let me see that potato.
That's a fantastic, clean content video. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, that's going to wrap up our year for 2023. Sorry, I brought us down a little bit, but I had to get that off my chest. That was some stuff that was bugging me the other day, but
that's okay. This is all stuff that we've been meaning to talk about for so long that like the magic didn't even happen. We've been sitting on it for so long it didn't feel organic anymore, which is why we're going to do host episodes more often next year.
Yeah, I think we're going to shoot for at least one hostful episode every month, even if it's a Patreon extra episode, because we know you guys like it when we do the just the hostful episodes. And I'm not talking about the headliners. Like, I love doing headliners. That's probably my favorite thing to do. So we should do one of those at least every other month and have some of our favorite guests come on and do them with us.
That's literally the plan that I told you that we're going to do.
I know, and that's why you're not supposed to like tell them what we're talking about behind the scenes, stupid.
I'm the ideas guy. He makes it seem like I'm not, but I'm the only one with ideas. All he does is produce the podcast.
Hey,
I have the good ideas.
Hey,
it's all me.
I mean, I do a lot of work behind the scenes here. I can't do everything, Jacob.
No, I know. If you could, then you would only need me to be the funniest co-host. That's all you would need me for.
And on that note, yes, we do have a battle plan for the next year, and we've talked about this. We got a lot of stuff in store for you guys. We're gonna have a good, no, not a good 2024, Jacob. We're gonna have a great 2024.
Yes, I wrote a communist manifesto.
Yeah, he did. But thank you guys for hanging out with us this year. Thank you for telling your friends about us. Go tell some of these comedians we've had on the show, like Neil Rubenstein and who else have we had on? Steve Byrne, Mo Alexander. Do they know who won our guest of the year by now or no?
No, they do not.
All right, so I'm naming off all of our guests of the year, but go talk to Sam Miller, anybody that you've enjoyed on this show. Go online and tell them that you enjoyed listening to them on the Open Micers podcast, because if anything is going to get people returning to the show is people telling them how much they enjoyed them on this podcast. So that's your mission for this year, you lovely listeners. Go tell these people that you like them on our show.
BJ DeBlay, do it or you're fired.
Yeah, get our unpaid intern on all this. But thank you guys for hanging out with us, and I'm going to go ahead and play our music here. And if you want to email us at openmicerspodcast@gmail.com. Go to openmicers.com. That's where our blogs are, everything you need over there. Or you can just go to Linktree/openmicerspodcast, when you could go everywhere you need to go. The socials, we even have Cash App and PayPal on there. So if you want to give us some money, that's a way to do it other than Patreon. We love you guys. We'll see you next year.
Rotisserie chunkin' donuts.
Rotisserie chunkin', baby. All right.
That was 2 episodes. You did it.
Awesome. I need to get rid of this one.
All right.
And this is not next week's episode, right? So
it's the week after, the week of Christmas.
This is 186. Episode 186, Christmas episode. All right. Awesome. Well, I'm gonna go edit up the one from earlier and get it up on the Patreon.
All right, buddy.
Will you
Talk to you later.
Will you write me up some show notes real quick, because I don't remember what all we talked about.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will.
All right. Later.
Later.